I get that for some people, Juneteenth is a holiday that they might not have had much knowledge of more than a few years ago, but awareness of Juneteenth is rapidly rising. By a recent measure that I saw, something like 1 out of 3 private employees now get it off as an actual holiday. That does not mean, though, that there aren't some people that don't like the whole thing and think it's an inconvenience in some way. Take a look at a sign that was apparently posted on the window of a local insurance agency for Juneteenth. Adam Wallace pointed this out, saying, hey, Allstate, isn't the Harry E. Reid Insurance Agency an Allstate broker? You all support this? Well, let's zoom in on the actual sign and you will see that it says Juneteenth. It's whatever, we're closed. Enjoy your fried chicken and collard greens. That was a choice that was made by that insurance agency. I have never felt that the employees of insurance agencies have been demanded by society to weigh in on holidays and race relations and things like that, JR. But they felt that they needed to advertise to their potential customers that they don't like that this is a holiday that they have to take off. What do you think?
First thing, this is an insurance company, right? Is this a federal agency? Are they associated with?
I think it's private.
Where's the forcing of having to take Juneteenth off? First of all, since they're rabidly racist people who work here, or at least who put up that sign, I'm sure they're gonna call an intern or something who did it, and we had no idea what was happening. They're gonna Ron Johnson as much as possible. But this insurance company, what's like? You have to be closed. McDonald's is open. They're not a federal.
Yes. So in this case, Maine, this is the first Juneteenth that it has been an actual state holiday, a paid federal holiday or paid state holiday.
So it's whatever, we're closed, fried chicken and collard greens, haha. Because by the way, again, this is a business. I would think that they're trying to get some more business. So in doing so, of course, you put up racist signs. Again, this is an indictment of what they think. Maybe it's society that's around their neighborhood believes things. They're like, I have a good idea. We can promote ourselves by being racist because the community is absolutely racist. Maybe someone should ask them, so why do you think the community is so racist? What have you seen going around town that people openly call each other N-word and of course bring up things like collard greens and fried chicken regarding Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And back to the same thing every time. So this is what we're not teaching folks. They don't know the history of our country. So therefore they can flippantly say things like this about Juneteenth, fried chicken and collard greens. Maybe if they learned something about it, they'd understand the horrors of slavery and actually what didn't fully happen on that day either. Maybe they can be mad about that because those are the realities of Juneteenth. Instead of then talking about what food people are eating.
Yeah.
Because apparently this is a divisive holiday and they would love nothing more than some more of that old slavery thing that we went through.
Yeah, imagine being unable to just take it as an opportunity to think about how horrible slavery was, how unimaginably horrible it is. You could think about it for literally years. You would never actually come to grips with how bad it was, how much inhumanity there was. Think about on top of that, that a war has to be fought to stop some people in our country from doing this. And many, many, many people die. And then on top of that, think of the horror of it's finally outlawed, but it's still there for a very long time. And many people still had to be slaves until finally your area was forced to stop it. And so we have a holiday that's supposed to make us think about that, and the continued effect that being the way we ran things for so long still has in this world. But for some people, no, it's just an opportunity to complain about the food that people, I don't understand the constant mocking of the food. There's a lot of stupidity in racism. I have a special, like of all of the stupidity in racism, the mocking people for eating fried chicken, I've never understood what the goal of that is supposed to be. What point do they think they're making, pointing out that it is weird that black people eat fried chicken when literally everyone who isn't a vegan likes fried chicken? Like I know that we're like expecting any sort of intelligence out of a racist doesn't make any sense. Racism is a product of a broken mind, but I don't know, JR, I hate it. They're getting 1-star reviews. You're probably not surprised to find out. And they're not responding to requests for comment. Oh, you were really talkative before about your opinions and all that. Suddenly you don't have much to say.
It's weird how perpetuating stereotypes is something that bigots and racists like to use. But then when someone says, hey, how about you stop perpetuating those stereotypes? Like, why are you guys concerned about that? It's not even a big deal. Hey, apparently it's a big deal because you utilize it every chance you get. And then when someone says, hey, that's racist, why are you always bringing up color?
Yep.
You brought it up. you're the one that initiated this conversation talking about fried chicken and collard greens. Again, because when we talk about how stereotypes then lead to policies and also attitudes that also lead to legislators, even to that degree, thinking they can not implement or implement certain policies or cut out, say, voting rights acts. These all things are all connected. They don't want it to that to be seen because it's a matter of convincing society what they're willing to accept. They think society was willing to accept signs like this because we're in some place where we can be openly racist, and that's just what they think is a positive development in our country. Jay, if somebody shows you who they are, just keep in mind and then make sure that their business gets none of yours.
I agree. This is certainly gonna hurt them. And I'm gonna finally say, I can't prove this. I don't have the data for this, but I'm gonna say it, and I think that you're probably going to agree. You know what is true of the sort of people who would be predisposed to like mock black people for eating these specific foods? Like you know black people, they eat these foods. That's what they don't eat, these foods. You know what's true of those people? When was the last time you think they had pho or a nice vindaloo? You think those are the sorts of people that eat broadly? They're not specifically able to be pigeonholed into eating a certain food. They're world travelers with passports just going on culinary vacations to test the cuisines of all of the other cultures that they're so accepting of. No, like they love to mock people for eating a single food. Guarantee they went home and had cromakincha. That's all they had, that's all they're comfortable with. I guarantee it.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.